be back with the Presidential Whiz Kid. Stay with us. Well, Jaden Wilkins isn't quite 6 years old yet, but during the last fall's presidential race, Jaden asked his mom, well, where are John McCain and Barack Obama racing to?
That's a valid question.
That's a valid question.
And that was enough to pique Jaden's interest into the life and lore of U.S. presidents. Please welcome 5-year-old Jaden Wilkins and his mother, Sandy.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Jaden, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good.
So what happened after his question? Where are they racing to?
Where are they racing to? Jaden asked so many questions about the presidential election in November. We were talking about voting and Obama. And, you know, Jaden's been reading on his own since he was 3 years old. I taught all of my 3 children to read when they were toddlers. So when he was 3, he was reading all these books. The library is our second home. So based on these questions he asked, I went to the public library, got him some books on presidents. Well, he was quietly reading them on his own, which was fine because he's always reading on his own. And much to our surprise, over the Christmas holiday, he then began to recite all 44 presidents forwards and backwards, their political parties, the dates, and so much trivia. And I said, Jaden, how did you learn all that? He said, I read it in my books.
Wow, and he retained all of that information. Yes. So this has all been very recent.
It's all been very recent. We're still a little bit awestruck with him, and he will come up with dates and trivia and to put things together. He'll read books about Helen Keller and say, oh, this president was in office when she was born. He's putting things together, and I was checking books to see if it was right, and I don't even check anymore because it's always right.
Well, I've got to warn you because people will watch, there are people from Dr. Phil and Oprah that watch our show to get guests off our show.
So it's get ready to get the call.
Well, we are big proponents of books. We're all avid readers, and I'm proud to say that all 3 of my boys love to read to this day. And so books are just in our lives and his toys.
Well, give us an example of what he learned about presidents.
I will. Jaden, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You can show Mr. Marcus and Lisa what things you've learned.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? What president never had a wife?
James Buchanan.
Okay, now, who was president when the White House caught on fire?
James Madison.
It's true. Who was president 2 different times?
Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland. Who was president during the Great Depression?
FDR.
FDR, we love him. Who said, speak softly and carry a big stick?
Theodore Roosevelt.
It's true, Theodore Roosevelt. Hey, who was the shortest president?
James Madison.
It's true. I've got one for you. Which president asked to be wrapped in the American flag when he was buried? Who asked that?
Andrew Johnson.
It's true. I got a question for you. Here's a good one. What did Nixon say?
I am not a crook.
Why did he say that?
Because he was lying about Watergate.
He did lie about Watergate. I'm sorry. Hey, here's a question. Who was president from 1963 to 1969?
Lyndon Johnson.
It's true, Lyndon Johnson. Now, here's a tough one. Some people don't know this. There were 4 presidents who were assassinated, and that was very what?
Unfortunate. Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and JFK.
Lincoln, Garfield, thank you. Those are all 4.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Now, here's something. There's a president that you have a lot in common with. He loved books. What was his name?
Thomas Jefferson.
What did he say about books?
I cannot live without books.
I cannot live without books.
Oh, you must like him then, because you like books so much.
Do you know who was our oldest president?
Yes.
Who?
Ronald Reagan, like jelly beans.
He liked jelly beans, just like you. Do you know if Ronald Reagan was Republican or was he Democrat?
Republican.
He was.
It's all those are Ronald Reagan, Republican.
Ronald Reagan, all those R's, you're right. Here's a tough one some people don't know. We know our first president was George Washington. Who was his vice president?
John Adams.
And what do we know about John Adams?
He got lost when he was looking for the White House.
He got lost looking for the White House. He couldn't find it. There was woods everywhere.
Yeah.
Here's a tricky one. Did George Washington ever live in the White House?
No.
Why?
Because the city wasn't even made yet, silly.
It wasn't even made yet, silly. This is a child who loves learning about the White House. There was a TV special about the White House, and he is glued to it. He's never been. He wants to go. He had a dream the other night that he was at the White House talking about presidents, and he's reading about how they're doing an Easter egg.
And I'm doing it with doing it with Obama.
You dreamed of doing it with Obama, talking about
wouldn't that be
presidents.
cool?
Wouldn't that be interesting? Hey, who is the president who was in office when they started that Easter egg roll?
Rutherford B. Hayes played it when Helen Keller was born.
He was president when Helen Keller was born. Good thinking. I like the way you think.